Your Own Adventure is a massively popular line of books, but they turned it into a line of games, which had 2 games come out. This is the first one, House of Danger. Was it good? Should there be more of these? Let's open it up, tell you what we think about it. What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube.
We're back again today for another game review, and today I'm very excited to be doing a tag team review with my sons, Sean and Luke, 12 and 9, and we're checking out House of Danger, a cooperative adventure game. This is for 1 or more players, ages 10 plus. Now, normally I take you to the table, show you how it works, but this is a Choose Your Own Adventure style book that is going to have you going on a Choose Your Own Adventure, so it's easy to spoil stuff. So I'll give you the basic flow of the game because it is incredibly simple. You have this little track right here, and you're going to have a little token on this danger meter that will be between 3 and 6. You are going to go on a Choose Your Own Adventure style book with lots and lots of these things, and you're going to go have challenges, and pretty much you're going to roll a d6, and you must roll as high as you are on the danger meter. There's also going to be a psychic scale over here, because in this game, you're a psychic paranormal investigator trying to unsolve a mystery. You will have a different goal up here. It'll be a special card up here on the top, because there are 2 types of cards in this game. There's these smaller cards, which will be all sorts of different adventures and items and things that happen, and there's tons of them. There are a lot of these. I want to stress that it is ridiculous how many cards we didn't use in our first playthrough of this game, which is going over 5 chapters and lasted, 3-4 hours, I think, grand total? It was pretty hefty. So essentially, the gist is someone's going to read this card, and then eventually it's going to say, hey, do you want to do this or do you want to do that? Go to page 13 or page 27, and then you're going to decide together. And then you'll get there and be like, hey, this crazy thing happens. And then you'll either die, or you'll get items, or you'll have to roll the d6 to see if you complete the challenges. And you guessed it, the different items that you get are going to benefit you in various different challenges. And it's all about trying to explore the world and going through this very different, surreal, crazy sort of story. That's the basic gist of it. Read cards and go on a Choose Your Own Adventure game. You think that's a pretty good gist of it?
Yes.
Without spoiling much, because we're not going to spoil anything in the story. The story is very wild, and there's parts of the story that we have no clue. Like, this is the stack of cards that we didn't use that are just double-sided story cards, and this is the stack that we did use. So there's the stack we did use, there's the stack we didn't use. Less than half the cards. What were your first thoughts on House of Danger? First, let's start on the pros and go on the cons. I'm pretty sure everybody liked it. So did anybody have any cons with this game?
I think it might be scary if you play it at nighttime, and I would not like to play it at nighttime for, little kids.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
it can be pretty scary.
I would agree, and that's intentional. It goes into some scary situations. Sometimes they're very silly. Sometimes they're very violent. There's very violent situations in this. You need to know going into it if your family's going to be able to handle it. We were playing near a 3-year-old, and I think there was some stuff. She dealt with it, but it was in the sunlight, and we were poking fun with it. But yeah, I definitely think in the dark. I think that's a great point. That this one, you don't want to play this one before bedtime if you have younger kids. But that being said, they do typical video game stuff. I don't think there's anything in here that's going to shock them, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, you punched this thing. I don't want to say what it is. You punched a thing in the face or stabbed this or whatever. So yeah. Good call on that one. I wouldn't have thought about that, but yeah, definitely scary. Any cons you had on this one? I got one in my mind.
Well, Luke said with the scary, and no, not really.
My big one that I think is going to turn off a lot of people, it says 1 or more players. This one feels like a solo game designed from the ground up. That being said, if you have a small enough group of people, I think there's a very fun aspect of this game to talking out what you think you should do or what might happen. Or, trying to judge the premonitions, because this was a really interesting aspect of the game that I forgot to mention in the thing, but at the beginning of the game, you're just supposed to look at this image and just study it, and things in this might come in the future to help you out. We succeeded. We went through the whole thing. We died in the end. There's 5 different endings that you could possibly get. But we succeeded, and I don't think we have any more cons, right?
Not really.
It's a solo game.
Wait, actually?
There's some decisions that might be difficult. You might be like, a little butt hurt because, they didn't make my decision, and then we died, blah, blah, blah. But that's going to happen with a 1-player game that you're playing 3 players on. What were you thinking?
If there's, maybe, too many players, then it can be, I don't know this from experience, but I imagine it can be chaotic when trying to make a decision. if you have like 5 or 6 people.
Yeah, I think 4 is probably the most you're going to want to get in this, unless you got a couple of people who are just very hands off and just like, I don't really care. I'm having fun with the ride.
Yeah,
because there is that aspect. I caught Mom just kind of listening to the story because there's a lot of reading in this. That's another con that you might need to know. There is tons and tons and tons and tons of reading on this, but I think you kind of got that when this was the stack of cards that we didn't use. But that's all we got on the cons. Moving on to the pros, I was very pleasantly surprised with House of Danger, a cooperative adventure game. Prospero Hall is a group of designers that make games, and they just consistently make pretty gosh darn good to great games. I don't know where this one falls in the good to great scale. I think I'd know that after my second or third playthrough, which I am excited to play it again, though. Would you guys agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just to see totally... Because I know some people would probably want to play it the alt... Like, it's like, all right, now I know exactly which move to make here, 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 and here. And you could totally do that. And I imagine it's fun. You start to uncover more because if you're higher on the psychic scale, if you have more psychic powers because you're a psychic paranormal investigator, then you get extra clues and extra things and extra stuff. But at the same time, I think that a whole other group of people like me are just going to have a whole bunch of fun just playing this completely different the second way around. Like, oh, I didn't even see this way through. And I think that's a big pro that either one of those strategies, I think, is still going to be fun the second time around, depending on who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's a good question. 9 and 12, do you think you could play this yourself solo?
Definitely.
The reading's going to be a problem for you?
Yes.
Gameplay-wise, no, though, I think you'd say, right?
No.
Yeah, if there was an app or something that read it out to you, I don't think it'd be a problem. But yeah, there's tons of text, and there's a lot of really large science-y words. Because, there's science in this adventure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what most of it means.
Let's talk about the story. Was the story packing? Did you enjoy the story?
Yes, I love the story.
I agree. And the story, I felt like, did a good job capturing just the insanity of some of these books of like, oh, that's happening, or like, oh, you're dead. It's like, and I love when the card would start off and be like, what's happened? It doesn't always reveal you're dead. At first it'd be like, oh yeah, you're dead. Like, of course you're dead. Why would you do that? Like, it's like, obviously this was a bad choice. Sometimes it mocks you a little bit, which I thought was kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, would you recommend this?
100%.
100%.
I completely agree as well, especially even if you have people who aren't the best at reading, they don't have to read. Like, anybody can read. There's like some slight rules in there where it's like, oh yeah, you gotta pass the card to the person to the left, but you don't have to. You could just have one person read everything, and there's gonna be no downside to it pretty much. End of the day, House of Danger makes me disappointed there's only 2 games in this line because I think that it's small, it's portable, and I think it's the kind of thing where you might say, oh, maybe you only get 1 or 2 plays out of it. But I think if you let this sit on your shelf for a year and came back to it, I don't think you're going to remember all the stuff, would you?
No.
Maybe some bits and pieces, but no, I think this definitely has some legs too, especially if you let it simmer for a little bit. House of Danger, a cooperative adventure game. Rock solid, we all recommend it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good or great?
I'm gonna say good.
I think it's high up on the great scale.
What would make it better for you? I think that's a good one. For both of you. For me too.
Some stuff was just really weird.
It does. It gets very weird. Jumps from place to place, yeah.
This might sound a little weird, but
It jumps the shark.
But more choices.
No, that's my agreement too. I feel like the danger meter and the psychic scale are nice. The rolling for different things is nice. I just wish there was an extra layer. Like just a little extra layer. And I wonder if they add that in the second game as well. Because the system that they have in play here is really nice. It's really simple, easy to learn, easy to teach. Fun to just be a part of and enjoy the story. And yeah, I agree. I'd love a little extra layer on it. But let me know in the comments below. Have you played House of Danger, a cooperative adventure game? What'd you think about it? And can you recommend some other games that are similar to this one? Because I have a feeling that these style games probably go pretty well in our house. Mm-hmm. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoy the content, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
This video is brought to you by all of my amazing Patreon supporters, and I would love it if you would join their ranks and have your name immortalized in the end of many of my videos for the end of time. But consider for only $1 a month, and as always, thanks for stopping by.